Would you mind telling us whence you hail?
I'm from another world, one that's far, far away in the sky, and I was forced to flee here.
How's it going? Damiani here, joined by Brad.
Hey.
We just got back from a preview event for Square Enix where we got to check out a few games, including Star Ocean: The Divine Force, the latest entry in the long-running sci-fi JRPG series from Square Enix in Tri-Ace. We got to play it on PlayStation 5. We both got a chance to play through a bit of the demo there. It was in two parts. It was kind of like a tutorial type environment, and then kind of more of the newer stuff, like the open environments with some of the traversal mechanics you might have been seeing in the trailers. They dropped a new trailer today, a bunch of new story lore stuff there. Not really going to go too deep into like the lore there, other than you were like the captain of a ship that was kind of like ambushed in space, and you kind of crash landed on this underdeveloped planet, and you run into this princess and her kind of like royal bodyguard, and you decide to make a little uneasy alliance there to search for. She's searching for someone, you're searching for someone, so you're going to help each other out because you're kind of the muscle. They know the planet, obviously. So you're going on this journey together, and that's kind of the basic premise there. And in Star Ocean fashion, I think I mentioned this to Brad when I was playing it. I felt like I was getting more, in terms of combat, I was getting vibes like The Last Hope in terms of, like, it has this like hexagon grid system.
Sure, yeah.
It felt like the risk reward, not really risk in this game so much, but the reward felt a little bit similar to that. And how the battle system works is all your party members are controllable.
Anytime you can switch on the fly.
D-pad up and down was how we did it. Like in the party lists, we had 3 members in the beginning. We had a 4th member joining us. Your main character is like a sword wielder. Princess character is kind of like a little bit the
She has
same.
like two swords,
dudes.
rapiers.
Yeah. Then the bodyguard guy, he's got like a little bit of like magic and like melee
things,
punching, and then this 4th girl who joins you is like completely a caster, like has like healing ability, does like AoE fields it can stand in, does have like one type of like also like regular attack. You have AP, you have like ability points again. You'll see like the little horizontal bar. Each move consumes a set amount of them. If you use it all, you string them together to make combos. You use it all, you got to kind of like back off, let it replenish. But that's like just like the basics. Again, the battle system expands and gives you more opportunities.
Yes.
And one of the things they introduced that we got to mess around with was this thing called, like, I think it's the Vanguard's the VA gauge. It's like this red meter that appears under it, which lets you do that like rocket flying ability that you're seeing in all the trailers. It could be used in combat, could be used outside of combat. Took like a little bit to get used to.
Yes,
I was a little confused at first because it's for how you can rush in on enemies. If you're familiar with Star Ocean games, you can like surprise attack by sneaking up on them. So like you leap up into the air and like come swoop down from below. You can initiate like kind of like a sneak attack.
More like action points, I think, too.
So you're rewarded by using this new ability to either to ambush enemies. So you have like a larger pool at the beginning of your skills or skill points, or in combat. You can use it. You can just do it as a rush down if you really want to do that. But if you know blindsides, if you know about the blindside mechanic in Star Wars, especially the Last Hope, it's a way where you fake out your enemy by breaking their line of sight. You kind of like do a side, like a left or right movement. And there's some enemies. It was in one of the loading screens. I didn't think I saw it in any of the gameplay. Maybe you did. But apparently, some enemies will flash red, which means they're hyper focused, which means their field of vision is very narrow, which will make it easier to break line of sight with them. When you blindside them, they become stunned and susceptible to more damage. You'll see like a little like Metal Gear Solid question exclamation appear above their head, and you'll see like it starts like depleting or filling up that's how you know how long you have. But the best part, I did it on like my second attempt. I think you saw a little bit of it, was you can do it to more than one enemy. You can get a big group of enemies, and if you psych them all out, like all the things light up above them, and you just like go to town on all of them. So it's like kind of a fun mechanic. Like it's a little confusing at first, but I think once it clicks, it just was nice.
Yeah, you can do it very often too. The meter comes up pretty quick.
You can, it replenishes very fast. So using blindside gives you more of your square X, triangle and circle. Sorry, square, triangle, and circle buttons. The X is to jump on that. So you have 3 basic attack buttons that can be used in your combo string, and you can like link them together. You can hold them down to access another move. Wasn't able to do that, but it was in the menu options. Got a glimpse of that. But if you do perfect blocks or dodges, you fill up your VA gauge and increase that. So like that's how all these systems kind of play together to make it do well executed defense, well executed offense. Using these new systems will keep your keep everything like flowing very well.
Yeah.
So yeah. Targeting might have been the only thing I feel like I needed more time with to like really understand. I'd lose target sometimes when I like by accident would dash past someone like, oops, where'd everyone go? Oh yeah, it's gonna turn around.
It's probably just a learning curve.
Yeah.
Also with that system, the VA thing, you could make a shield for yourself.
Yes.
If you held it down, I believe.
You held it down, you could like repel attacks, you can even reflect back projectiles, apparently, they said. I wasn't able to do that, but it is, I think it was like just a nice mix-up. Everything we got to fight, at least I thought, was pretty simple. There was the one kind of like mini-boss, like Golem like thing. Statue thing, and it was like you could target its head and like VA up to it. And it was... That's
cool.
Everything was over kind of quickly.
It was, yeah.
But I think, for me, the other big part of it, where it seems to, I'm very intrigued, I want to see more of, is how it's used in traversal. Being able to launch yourself. These environments are pretty huge.
Pretty big, yeah.
Like really big environments. I will say the most impressive thing to me was like the scale of the environments, but also the detail. Like there's a forest one where you come up upon a village and there's like these swaying trees that like don't all sway at the same time. Like they looked really nice, and they're like all these like festive lights leading up to a village. I was like, okay, this environment looks pretty cool. And they hide all these kind of like gemstones that are used to power up your AI companion called Duma. It's the thing you find at the beginning of this demo. It's the one that allows you to use the VA abilities, and it can also scan the environment. And when you're running around, it'll alert you to enemies and what direction they're in, and whether they're alerted to your presence or not, so you can like ambush them or they're about to attack you. But these things power it up. So like one of the things I did was increase like just something to improve the VA meter. So you can spend your skill the points to improve the Duma abilities, or just your own like basic abilities as well. So they have all the two different types of skill trees you can mess with.
Each character had their own skill tree kind of thing you can go through and give them stuff.
And you'll be able to like change out those abilities, and I mean there's equipment, there's all the usual stuff. The characters though, this has been a big point of contention for Star Ocean for a while, starting with The Last Hope.
I remember.
And then with Faithlessness and Integrity, characters and dialogue. I will say this, the trailer might not have inspired a lot of confidence for some people. I will say, in-game, the dialogue isn't as bad as when it's stitched together in the trailers. The trailers are just really... bad,
really messy.
Really messy, bad, and like the lip syncs off and everything.
Yes.
And unfortunately for this was the TGS build, so the lip sync was synced to Japanese, but we're playing in English, so we didn't really get to see that. But I will say, like, I felt like the delivery was like okay. It was like, okay, it wasn't so god-awful like the last two, where it was like this, I'm putting up Japanese because I just don't want to even know what they're saying because I'm going to read the subtitles. We hadn't approached that level yet, so that's an improvement there.
Yes.
I will say that. And in terms of characterization, how they looked, I like the main character, he just looks kind of like generic. Like,
to me, Star Ocean character designs are never my favorite. They're never my favorite parts of the game, so... I mistook.
Sorry, the fourth character is Renri, or what's her name from Tales of Arise. The owl girl or whatever, forgetting her name right now. I thought I was playing Tales of Arise for a second. I had to do a double take. I was like, wait a second, is that? Oh no, I'm still playing Starshin. But I will say, like, except for some of the characters seen in the trailer so far, the cast is pretty. It's fine.
Seemed fine. Yeah.
It feels like the direction they kind of took was Xenoblade 3. With character designs. Like, they kind of moved away from every character just looking so damn ridiculous to... There's, a little bit more sensibility there.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, and like, the village, I don't know if you made it to the village or
I
not.
just did like the first demo area,
so like
which was pretty long.
NPCs don't look that great. Their animations are a little... Sure.
Cross-gen game.
It's fine. But I mean... You use that leaping ability. So how it works is you hold down the shoulder button to bring up the aiming reticle, and then you launch yourself in that direction when you let go. At the end of this kind of burst, you can hold down the X button to start gliding. If you don't hold anything, you're just going to drop right away. But you can like glide down. At any point, you can hit X again to just fast drop down. And yeah, you can like there's ledges like you can get up
stuff,
to. I don't know if there's gonna be like alternate paths, but in the village, there are a whole bunch of stuff on the rooftops, and you had to like launch across a few of them to get to like this really big gem, which had like a big payout for that.
Yeah, and you can do this like constantly.
Oh yeah, you can just spam it over and over.
You gotta like land, but then you can do it again right after.
Like the beginning area with the ruins. Like once you get that ability and you go back in there, like there was so I was like, how am I gonna? Oh, you get this ability.
That's right, yes.
It's definitely gonna help a lot in exploration. I can already tell that it's gonna make things a little bit more interesting. I'm curious if it evolves much though, or if it's just gonna become too much of a one-trick pony where you're just kind of like, I'm just spamming it to go fast at this point.
Yeah, definitely hard to tell.
Yeah. But yeah, combat variety we talked about. Like I played a little bit as each character. A little too early to tell.
Yeah, I can't remember if the older games were, but this is like seamless, the combat too. I couldn't remember, but it was just like nice, and it didn't take long to get out of battle. You know, once you kill a guy, it's just like immediate. I was just like, oh, okay, just a little snappy.
Yeah, very nice to have that.
Yeah.
A nice touch like that. Yeah, they like treasure chest, all the usual items, like saw like sages and stuff like aquaberries, like all the usual stuff is back. Yeah, and I know they dropped a new TGS trailer, which actually the one thing, we didn't get to play any of this. This was all on the planet, so it was all like Ren Fair and medieval times looking stuff. Like, but apparently there's like futuristic areas,
sci-fi.
like you go to space stations and stuff, and like that's the one thing I've been craving
from Star
Ocean games is like, please balance it out so I have a lot of sci-fi in it.
Totally.
And like that Dumas thing following you around, it's like this futuristic thing, and like
it's like a drone.
And apparently, like I forget what the explanation was, but like, oh, no one's gonna care about it. It was the funniest thing. I was like, oh, okay. No one
really cares
about it.
No one cares.
Yeah.
But
so
it was fun.
Yeah,
I had a good time.
You know, it's like
we'll see. You know, the full release, what it's like. We'll see how we feel, but it seemed fun.
Yeah, it's showing a little bit more promise than the last entry so far.
I agree.
But I mean, if you know Star Ocean, I think you know what you're getting into.
Yes.
I think, you know, there's a kind of a ceiling for these games. But this, you know, has a good trajectory so far. Going to loop it in with that new mechanic there. But anyway, Star Ocean, The Divine Force, coming out October 27th, 2022. So just a little over a month away. Coming to PlayStation, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series. We just say Series now. We don't say X or S. Everyone says Xbox Series.
You know.
It's pretty much everything but Switch it's coming to. Yeah. So, yeah. Looking forward to trying out some more of it. It was kind of fun from what I played. Yeah. Had a good time with it.
Yeah, I agree.
The evolution of humanoid races, huh?
A monstrous invader that transforms people into something they are not.
I would rather prefer death than allowing such a thing come to pass.